Hello. Ciao. But yeah, this is gonna be the first of the, I guess, many in line of videos that I'm going to be do on this channel. So what this one is all about is the DualShock 5 or DualSense for the PlayStation 5. Way before I used to do, I did actually the DualShock 4 version as a full editable PSD. So this is basically that. I actually did this like as soon as we got like those first images that were like shown from Sony. I was like really hyped, and I definitely wanted to make this into like an editable PSD file that you can just easily or more easily just change and make it into your own. But yeah, for some reason I didn't post this. Maybe I was waiting for this thing to to happen and whatnot. So yeah, finally I'm going to release it for everyone, and I can't wait to see what everyone actually makes. So in this video, I'm definitely going to show you like the I don't know, the basics for editing this type of file, like all the groups and all of the gradient maps and like that you're going to actually like use and change and whatnot. So this is the one of the quick concepts. Like it basically takes, I don't know, 45 minutes or an hour to actually make something like this, or Atomic Heart. this is this was an accidental sync, but yeah, I'll take it. But yeah, for the game Atomic Heart, the new upcoming open world FPS game from Russia, made by what's the studio? The name is so hard to. Munfish. I always say something muck related, but yeah, Munfish. So yeah, Munfish Games. It's really fucking cool. Like as soon as I saw the very first trailer that actually released, like I don't even know when, ages ago. This new one is like, I don't know, 20 hours ago or something that they released. It's really good. The like besides the gameplay and stuff like that, which also looks really interesting, the level design, the design in general, is just out of this world. Obviously, like it's just super out of this world. I really suggest you watch the whole thing, just see it in all its glory. So yeah, that was the idea that I wanted to do with this, to basically just show you an idea on how you can make one for whatever game that you want. Also, I mean, maybe I'll do like an Xbox controller or like a Switch or something like that too, so you can all play with those. But yeah, leave something in the comments below if you want to see other types of controllers or joysticks and whatnot. But yeah, for now, this is definitely going to be the thing that I want people to play with. So what I'll be basically doing in this video is kind of like just go through my process of how, based on this video and the things inside, how I kind of wanted to, you know, like basically copy paste it to the actual joystick. So yeah, let's go check it out. Okay, so let's see what this is all about. So obviously full vectors and everything's, I don't know, divided into different like larger groups. Like the miscellaneous section is for all like the buttons and similar things like those, the analog sticks obviously for the sticks, and etc. So shadow is always optional, so you can use that if you want, and that's the gist of it. So like this is the full-on editable PSD file that you can play with, and this is the concept I did for the Atomic Heart game, where I guess I can go through that a bit. Then I'm gonna go back to this and kind of show you what I kind of did to get to this. It's not really hard. Honestly, it definitely took me way more to kind of decide on the materials, the theme, and like the overall designs of what I wanted to do. So if we go to through the entire tutorial, we can definitely see like a lot of things. Like there's there's so many interesting things that I wanted to kind of explore and do, but in the end, I kind of decided to mix the first weapon that we see at the beginning and those vacuum cleaners. I mean, it's funny, like obviously this is like an instant, I don't know, instant transformation into a stick. Like it really looks like a stick on its own. So that was one of the ideas. I can just put this up here so we can have them next to each other. I definitely could have done more for the shine and the brass or bronze, or not even sure what it actually is, but I definitely wanted to kind of make that into this part here. The vacuums are really cool, the design and just how fun and crazy they are. So I definitely wanted to kind of try and make the whole shell into like one of these vacuum cleaners. I desperately wanted to, because like I don't know, if I had the job of making the interface, I definitely would have done something like this. Just pure lines, just super minimal. I think I could do it like even more minimal, but I really like this idea. So thinking about like working for things like that, if you're actually like designing a full design for a joystick or a bundle edition for the console or whatnot, I mean, you obviously have to have all of the visuals and all of the probably like, I don't know, key game visuals or things that just makes it a bit more easier to know what to make or what to do. In this case, I'm only basing this for this trailer, you know. So like I'm guessing there are other things that follow you throughout the game more, which is the interface. So like the red and the blue. Thinking just based on that, like the whole design could have been obviously much more different. Like it could still be white as a base, but the red and blue lines could then flow in very interesting ways to like kind of mimic the interface more. Obviously, like the second idea was like maybe I can make it into this, but that would take just way too much time, and I kind of have other things to do besides this. But if this was the case, if they did it like kind of, I mean, this is obviously like just dependent on the actual, I don't know, infrastructure of the joystick. Like for the DualShock 4, we had that transparent one, which is really cool. I was thinking maybe if this is the case, maybe they could do like a transparent one so you can see all the rumble actions and all of that shit inside, while still retaining this like kind of jelly mass with these rings that actually hold stuff together. So yeah, and to kind of like see the whale organs inside. This is just an insane idea to have. This other angle too. Like I really wanted to kind of explore this, but sadly ended with just mixing basically these two elements into the. I also really like this. I'm thinking there's some meaning behind these symbols, but I definitely wanted to kind of try and put those there. In the end, I decided to just keep it as clean as possible and as minimal. Obviously, I'm guessing if they ever have like a bundle edition for the new PS5 or the new Xbox, I'm guessing they would have probably some sort of typography somewhere saying Atomic Heart or something like that. I obviously don't have access to any of those things, so I wasn't even gonna try doing any typography stuff. So this is only just based on what I saw, just a quick little concept on how things could possibly look. The background is basically that mini boss in the end that you fought, that a guy fights in this room. I kind of wanted to do something similar to that, so that was like just a quick idea of making that background. I also kind of wanted to make it float in a sense, because everything is kind of floating, or like the gravity is all worked up in a way in the game. So yeah, that again, just a little concept of mine. I definitely want to see other people make other interesting things based on their favorite games or upcoming games or what have you. The light, obviously, like in the trailer, like there's a lot of white light, so I was guessing maybe white light would be sort of better instead of like, I don't know, red or whatever else there was. And yeah, the chrome parts, I really wanted to do those somewhere. The only place that made sense probably would be like the buttons. But then again, I really like the kind of red ones because based on this, like I don't know, hatch or cylinder thing, whatever it is. This is obviously the centerpiece that I wanted to kind of put together. For the first version, I had them on the sides, like the two red dots. But I don't know. This definitely makes it. I don't know. It looks okay. I think I would gladly hold it in my hands. Like that was the I don't know, the general idea. Some more like brass moments here and there. The PlayStation logo, I'm guessing, would be cool if it's like this. I'm guessing the trigger buttons could be red. Black also was, or like a darker tone was also okay. For this whole section, I'm honestly not even sure like what actual material this is going to be. Is it going to be like rubbery or whatnot? I kind of wanted to give it like this type of finish with like little scratches and whatnot. I don't even know if that would be like even possible to actually make in the end production. I'm guessing when we actually start seeing those new DualShock or DualSense controllers and their designs, I'm guessing they're going to be just a bit more bare bone and simple with just like, I don't know, basic visual printed on top, maybe. I don't know. We'll definitely see the customizing limits for the new joysticks. So yeah, I guess enough about that. Let's see how we can change things from this file here, because this is the file obviously that I use to actually change and play around everything. Basically, the gradient map is going to be a really, really good friend of yours. So all of these groups have vector masks on them. So basically what that means is you don't have to do any other masking or stuff like that. So if you want to add things, you can just add them inside of this group, which is really, really nice. So if you just want to pluck your designs inside, boom, that is that. If you want to change the whole shading and whatnot, I don't know, like what I would say is probably the best thing to do is to play with the gradient maps. So basically you just have to find for each of these the ideal range for different values. So like the base of this is white, so we're probably going to be changing things in this section here. So let's say I want to make it into I don't know, into this type of color. This would be like a good place to start. See how things change based on how I'm moving. So basically imagine it from blacks, grays, whites, and that's always going to be the thing. So basically all of the blacks, I guess we can just tone them down. They don't have to be as noticeable. So this is okay as it is. And I don't know, let's say we want to pick some other color. White is great for if it's like a lighter tone. If it's something blue or whatnot, definitely pick something like this as your base color. And basically that's it. So like you can always just use this one gradient. Like let's see, for the top section you can always just hide and see which section is which. So I can just duplicate this there. See, it matches. If we go into the back section, just pluck this here, and all the back section is now blue too. Really, really cool. Now, if I want to edit, I guess the buttons can stay, but obviously, like for anything that you want to do, you can always just use the gradient map. For this base, I mean, there's plenty of ways. Like you can always just use color overlays and whatnot. Like really, just plenty of different ways to change this and just play around with it. For like the analog sticks, we have it as like two just separate groups for the top base and the actual stick. There's a lot of different layers here and whatnot. Obviously, as always, I would just suggest just playing with either like this different curve if we want to lighten or darken certain parts, But yeah, in the end, I would always suggest to use the gradient maps. So a little bit of a workaround for everything if you want to like just make it exactly your own. But in the end, I would definitely suggest just making different gradient maps for different sets of this whole thing, and then just playing around with other layers above or whatnot. I also included like some of those like retro colors and stuff like that for like the where it is. But yeah, also this was really strange for me, but like the actual designs have these icons as straight, and I was really interested into that because like I think it's a missed opportunity with just, I don't know, maybe a sleeker design, because these buttons are kind of rotated at an angle. It didn't make sense for the icons to be basically straight, or whatever the angle it is. Like, I think they're basically like this. I don't know. It didn't make sense. So one of my, I guess, suggestions that I actually made is just make it what's the word? Make it like the button. Make it flow in this direction. It just makes more sense to me to make it like that. And in the light section, where that is, it's in body, trackpad light. So yeah, here again we have different groups and whatnot, but this hue is actually all everything that you need. Like if you want to change the color, you can just play with the hue scale. Saturation can make things brighter or dimmer. And let's say you want it to be like something like this. This is the kind of the easiest and best way to change things up. And that should be that. So basically, like, depending on your, I don't know, kind of creativity or what you want to achieve, if things are like kind of more complicated or whatnot, like it all depends on you, obviously. I've made everything really editable, so you can just play around with everything, but obviously it all depends on you and what you want to do. So I kind of went through my thought process on the things that I liked and what I wanted to actually see on the actual controller. Obviously, you want it to look as best as possible. For this, I don't know, like the whole world and the whole trailer and everything is so crazy. I really just wanted to, I don't know, I wanted to make it as crazy as possible, but I'm guessing they're probably going to do something else if they ever have like a bundle edition for the PlayStation 5 or Xbox, but we'll see in due time. Okay, that is that for this thing. Let's go back to me. And that's that, basically. This is, I guess, the easiest way to change things up is basically just use the gradient maps. You can always use color overlay, gradient overlay, or stuff like that. The base is white, so things are not as complicated to change. If it was a darker base, maybe it would have been a bit more complicated. But again, using the gradient map to make it darker is always a super idea. I've shown you that. But you can always use other techniques. There are a lot of things to do because there's a lot of groups, there's a lot of, already things that are made that you can individually change. You can always do it like that. Why not? It may just take a little bit more time. This way is just a bit more faster. Yeah, that should be that. I'll leave the source PSD on my Patreon account, which you can just go to and download. I'll probably leave some links down below where you can post your results. You can always use Instagram, or on Dribbble you can just rebound off of my post, or on Instagram we'll have some sort of hashtag, or you can just always add me at TipsyPixel at Instagram. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. This is definitely going to be like a different type of video that I'll try to move on with. I definitely want to do game related things, from maybe like, I don't know, interface buffs for games or stuff like that. Like I have a bunch of ideas, so I'll definitely just go through all of them as time goes on. So yeah, leave a like, subscribe. That should be that. Thank you for watching. Until the next one.